Testing. Hello, internet. Okay, here we are, guys, back with another ASMR video on my ASMR channel. Remember to dislike and unsub if you are not a fan of ASMR. Just kidding. Don't do that. This is my friend's merch, Graham Steven. You should check him out if you haven't. He's a YouTuber that makes very smart videos that enhance the capabilities of your brain after watching. That has nothing to do with this, though. I just wanted to rep him while I talk to you about what is going on. Real quick before this video starts, get in the comments, leave your guess how much you think I've spent on this car up until now. It's probably more than you think, even though we haven't even done a single thing to it. It's been pretty costly so far, which kind of sucks, but leave your guess down below how much you think it has cost so far. So here's the deal. Last video I posted was I went over to take a look at my project car that has been stagnant for about 9 months. I did the math. I thought it was a year. It was about 9 months ago that I got it. I immediately neglected it, kind of. So if you guys remember, the first thing that happened was that I parked it in Santa Clarita, which is where my dad lives, and it was towed. Santa Clarita has this weird rule that you can't park any car on the street in the same spot for more than 72 hours, which is insane. I don't know why that's the way it is out there, but it is. So the car was towed. It was towed right when my parents went on a trip. So no one knew that the car was gone. When they got back, they also didn't tell me that the car was gone because they thought that I took it. They thought I had already arranged a delivery for it and had it taken to a warehouse. Can I have it worked on? That was not the case. It was towed. And after it was towed, it was in the impound for like 12 days. So it was almost $1,000 just to get it out of the impound. Whatever, we got it out of the impound. Then we had it towed to a shop in Gardena, California, which is where my buddy Man Cobra, aka Johnny, or actually Johnny, aka Man Cobra, I don't know why. I got that backwards. More people seem to know him as Man Cobra, so we'll refer to him as that. Man Cobra worked at the shop over in Gardena. He doesn't work there anymore, but that's where we had originally planned to work on the car. So we took it there, and it pretty much stayed parked there in the same spot for a while. Now, while it was there, Johnny found two major components for building a car, which is the engine and the transmission. I don't know shit about project cars, but it's not hard to determine the most expensive things when you're building a car is going to be the engine, the transmission, things you need to fabricate. I'd say maybe the fourth thing is like wiring. I don't know. But the two biggest things we got out of the way pretty much really shortly after we got the car. I'd say like a couple weeks after it was delivered to a shop. So those were just sitting. Everything was just sitting there. At this point, total cost. Well, let me rewind, because the whole point of this is a lot of people said that I got ripped off with the cost of the project car. So all this happened so long ago that I don't expect anybody to remember. But before I bought that, some of you guys may remember that I was looking at a wagon, an E46 wagon, BMW, for use as a drift car, which a lot of people thought that was really stupid. Caleb Quambeck told me it was really dumb. Someone who drifts a lot on YouTube, you may know him. He told me that I should not do that because the cost just to get it to run reliably would be so insane that there's no reality where it would be worth it. And then after it does run, to use it for drifting or even racing, it just wouldn't work. If I was doing it for a show car, that's one thing, but we actually want to drive this thing and destroy it. So we ended up going with an E46 sedan style body, a 4-door E46 sedan. Looks like this. If you haven't seen one, that's mine. So now you know. You've probably seen that car everywhere. We had a lot of options. Obviously, when you're starting a project car, you can pick from any piece of junk that exists out there. There's so many that have been done many times that I wanted to do something that I hadn't seen that much before, and something that I know Man Cobra would be able to work on reliably. So Johnny, not a lot of people know this, he was the head tech at BMW Service Center for many years. He was like the guy in charge. Like, he knows BMWs like the back of his hand, like nobody else. Johnny works with Hoonigans sometimes. He also works at this legendary shop called Sheepy Race. Well, over there, they pretty much primarily work on exotics like Lambos, Ferraris. They create twin turbo systems for these cars. He just finished fabricating one for a 2018 GT3 RS. Big boy cars. I'm not there. Got my lowly BMW shell. But anyways, he knows how to work on BMWs. Point is, that's one of the main things that led me to get a BMW for the project car as well. Besides the fact that it was kind of, you know, different, I'd say, than any other things you usually see on YouTube as far as project cars. And sorry that I keep doing this. My nose is super itchy today. I don't know why. I think it has to do with the weather. Super gloomy outside. If you guys, I don't know if you see that, but it's super gloomy outside. Anytime it's gloomy, I start feeling sick. So anyways, once I decided on the car that I wanted, Caleb put me in contact with his friend named Chelsea DeNofo, who's an actual professional drifter. Like, the guy's big time. He competes in Formula Drift like he's the real deal. He was selling a body at the time that I guess he just didn't have the time to work on or something. He didn't have the means or the time. I don't know what the deal was, but he was selling this chassis that was pretty much already stripped bare and had a roll cage installed. Now, from my understanding, I don't know anything about this world. I'm trying to learn more by the day. The roll cage itself was worth about $2,000. The body itself, to compare with the wagon we saw, that wagon was going for 800 bucks. I feel like it's hard to find something cheaper than that. Plus, it had everything already taken out. Everything was gone from the interior, from the engine bay. Everything was stripped. It has no other modifications besides roll cage, which was unfortunate because the wagon that we looked at actually had some really, really good things we could have taken from it. Like, it had M suspension for some reason. It had like an E46 M3's suspension and struts and some other random parts that were from an M3 that were for some reason on that wagon. And in hindsight, yeah, it would have been nice to get the wagon, but it still would have been really problematic down the line, I think, to work on that every day as opposed to when we start working on this. At the end of the day, we're not doing shit yet, so it's hard to justify any of this because it's all still like theoretical at this point. But, you know, hopefully at some point we're gonna get things going. Anyways, at the end of the day, yeah, I paid $3,000 for the E46 shell with the roll cage, and that's it. It came with the delivery. I don't remember if I paid him a little bit extra, but he delivered it from Oregon to my dad's house in Santa Clarita, which is really cool. And I actually, now I think about it, I did pay for that. I paid him for the cost of transport, but whatever. So, end of the day, it came out to be kind of expensive. Did I get ripped off? That's the question. That's up for you to decide. I want you guys to comment down below whether you think I got ripped off or not. I mean, at this point, I don't really care because it's like I spent the money so long ago, and it was at a time where I was just like, I had so much money to burn, and I was like, I want to put it into something that I can actually make content out of instead of like blowing it or doing something stupid. I don't know. I'm generally really good with my money. I don't really blow it that much on things at all. I'm not a flashy guy, but you know, it always pays to shop around, get a good deal on stuff. One thing a lot of people point out that I know nothing about is that was the cage FD spec or not, which is a Formula Drift spec. I suppose this means if the cage was built to a certain specification to withstand a certain amount of damage or something. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was just like one of his buddies made it. If anyone would know, though, it'd be him because he's a Formula Drift driver. Honestly, don't remember when I read his listing on Instagram if the cage is FD spec or not, but I mean, I don't understand how so many of you guys could tell just by looking at it in the video, but I mean, if you guys know, then you know. If you don't, I don't know. If it is, I'm sure that justifies a little bit more of the cost. If not, I don't know. Anyway, so far we've spent $3,000 on the car itself, $600 on the delivery. We got an LS2, which with extremely low miles on it for 800 bucks, and then we got a CDO9 transmission, also pretty low miles, for 500 bucks. So quick math, 3,600, 4,100, 4,900. So far, 4,900 in the hole, and we have yet to begin actually working on it, which is when the costs are actually going to begin skyrocketing, is what I think, you know, but it is what it is. So the other day when I went to go take a look at the car, the video you guys saw I posted last, many of you were shocked with the condition of the vehicle. You were like, wow, this thing's a total piece of shit. That's accurate. It was, it's in considerably worse condition than when I bought it. There's new scratches on the bumper, a wheel is missing, there's rust accumulating in certain spots. All this is really bad. Gotta keep it real, it's all really bad. It's been sitting outside in the rain a lot. So when we actually go to start working on the car, we might uncover a ton of issues that we had no idea were there, which is frightening. But it's part of, it's entirely my fault for procrastinating so long on starting to work on it. I explained in the last video why I hadn't been working on it, which is because I wanted to sell the M3 to get funds to work on that car, which is kind of backwards, but I literally never drove my M3. I drove it maybe once a month, like maybe once or twice a month when I lived in downtown LA. And out here where I live now, it's not much different. I don't drive that much. I can pedal to most places I want to go. So by no means is this project car going to be a daily driver. A lot of people thought that I was serious when I said I'm making that my daily. Like that's just insane. It's a really insane idea, but it'd be cool, but it's insane. It's not actually what's going to happen. I'm not going to make the E46 my daily driver. So whether all that is going to contribute to a higher end cost once we actually get to work on this thing, yet to be seen. I hope that the answer is no. But I don't know. I knew building a car would not be cheap. I knew it wouldn't be easy. I knew it wouldn't come quick. But once we get the ball rolling, I think it'll start happening a lot sooner. Johnny has the ability to source parts for cheaper than anyone else that I could possibly go through, obviously. And he's also always been so generous about labor with me. So hopefully we're going to try and keep the cost below, I don't know what it's actually going to end up being, but realistically probably like 20K is my estimate. I don't know, this is a total guess. You guys probably know better than me do. Leave your comments below what you think it's going to end up costing when all is said and done. But that's my guess. I don't know. I hope I'm right, because anything more than that would make me just cry myself to sleep every night. Anyways, that's today's video, because it has been very poor weather lately. It actually just stopped raining, and that means I don't really go outside. So I'd like to upload something. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. If you watch the entire thing, get in the comments. Let me know if your guess was right about the project car's cost. I think the main takeaway here is that I have not given up on it yet. There's definitely been a couple times where I wanted to just throw in the towel and be like, nah, I could make a project car and make content around that, or I could like just buy a really cool car and like just make videos about it. But I think it's gonna be worth it in the long run, because it's gonna be more fun to make something that's like a total piece of shit, but it still ends up being pretty cool, than to just spend a lot of money on something and hope to recoup it in videos. And like, I don't know, it seems difficult. We had a couple of theories about other cars, well not theories, but like ideas of, you know, salvaged exotics is super trendy right now. There's literally tons of people making videos about restoring exotics that have been crashed. So we were thinking about doing that, but you know, we already got this on our hands. Why not just try and make it happen before we move on to something else? At least make it, sell it maybe, probably not, probably just keep it, probably destroy it. I don't know. Oh my God, it feels so itchy. Allergies, kids. They will destroy your life. But all in all, like, I don't feel like I made a mistake per se buying it. A lot of people literally say that, like, you made a big mistake buying this car. I don't think so, like, cause think about it. How much would I theoretically have saved if I had spent tons of time looking for a BMW shell and then strip it and then cage it myself? Like, how much would I realistically end up spending if I did that? Probably not much less than $3,000 is my guess. I might be wrong. If you know, like, exactly how much, feel free to comment below and prove me otherwise. But I don't think I would have saved a ton of money if I just did that route, which is like go to a junkyard, find one, and then strip it out, and then find someone to cage it. Yeah, that's all content, which is realistically would have been smarter to do that way, but I don't think I would have saved a ton of money. I think it would have been like a really negligible amount of money that I saved. Then again, I might be wrong. I might be totally wrong, so feel free to chime in and let me know what is realistic. Also, if you were to make a project car right now, what shell would you pick? What would be the chassis? Comment below. Maybe you already have one that you're working on. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on what you would do if you were in my shoes and you were just about to begin a project vehicle. Last request, follow me on Twitch. I've been active there recently again. If you want to come kick it, hang out, ask questions, talk, chat, whatever, just follow me on Twitch. Just come kick it, because it's fun. We just play Fortnite and talk shit and look at memes and laugh. It's a great time. So pull up. And that's it. See you guys in the next video. Peace.